In your experience, is the phrase, "once a cheater always a cheater," actually accurate? I'm wondering because my partner confessed early on that they have cheated on someone in the past. We have been going through a rough patch lately and this confession has been on my mind. I feel the need to mention that I've never cheated on anyone and was very open about why I never have. Should I be worried? People make mistakes and can learn and change because of past mistakes. It takes a lot of effort and discipline to change behavior. I would ask what they have done to make the changes. Did they learn their lesson? Either way, this is how I would handle this situation. I would make it very clear that if you cheat on me, it's over. No explanation or apologies needed, not another word to be said. I will be gone. It's not generally true. Many people cheat and go on to become better people from that. Definitely can be true for some people, though I'll tell ya that. Blanket statements generally aren't accurate. I think once someone has cheated, then it's definitely a higher chance they will cheat again, as opposed to someone who hasn't. No, it's not. Many people cheat when they're young, not always young, but you know what I mean, and stupid, and it takes a lot to admit that. They seem like they've truly matured if they're willing to let you know about the ugly side. Unless you see any reason to worry, for example, openly flirting with someone else, don't worry. Cheating isn't okay, but it's also not always an irredeemable thing. Cheating doesn't make you bad. Repeating it in another relationship does. So go in with an open mind. I personally would never cheat, but sometimes someone may feel trapped in a relationship or, like I said earlier, young and stupid, so there's a very high chance your partner is completely reformed and committed to you. I cheated on one of my BFS several times. I was a kid, in an abusive relationship that I wasn't brave enough to leave. Yes, it's still cheating, and it's still horrible, it's not an excuse. But I never did it again. This was 7 years ago. I've had 2 BFS since then and never cheated on them. People learn from their mistakes and change to better. Not everyone is like this, but people can always change. I also told all my partners that I had a boyfriend that I had cheated on, and trying to make them safe enough to trust in me, explained the whole situation and how I felt and why I did it. Because yeah, I've changed and I know I won't do it again, but it's better if you make your partner safe about it. People who said, no, are either cheated or are cheating, lol. Yes, it's more likely that it will happen again. It's like with lying, or stealing, or cheating, or smacking your BF, GF. It's just an acceptable course of action that, in this case, already was done, validated through that experience, and most of the time went sour only when the party got caught, not from the deed itself. There is more likelihood that cheater will just make sure she doesn't get caught, rather than reflect and deem this behavior as completely unacceptable. At most, maybe justification and reasoning for cheating will change. I don't think in every case that a cheater will cheat again in their future relationships. People can change. But personally, if someone cheats on me, that's an automatic breakup and they can try and change for someone else. It's more or less accurate. Always exceptions, but the majority of people have never cheated. Zero reason not to avoid the cheaters and ex-cheaters of the world unless you're desperate. I don't think it's true. It's not good, but a lot of people cheat when they're young. I think some people just to their core do not respect fidelity in relationships, but way more people than that have dabbled in cheating without it being a core part of them. I would honestly take more comfort in the fact my partner is open and honest enough with me to share that controversial information rather than hide it. People do change, and people do make mistakes. I think within the same relationship, yes. They may not necessarily cheat again, but the trust will never be the same. I've cheated in the past because I was young, selfish, and immature, but I would never do that to my current partner. Yes. No, I cheated once when I first started dating. And I can confidently say that. Well, I wouldn't ever do it again. It messed me up psych-wise. Countless sleepless nights of guilt, you know? I stared going to sleep with the TV on because I couldn't forgive myself even when we ended up breaking up. Needless to say, I deserved it and I won't ever do that again. Not necessarily. In my experience, every time I cheated in the past it was directly related to the situation, my bad choices, including the fact I shouldn't have been in a relationship at those times. Later in my life I met someone when I was ready to be in the kind of relationship I needed, and I've never felt even tempted to cheat. I also know myself a lot better and recognize the necessity of not opening the door to those kinds of situations. I would pay attention to your instincts. You'll probably have a good sense of whether this person is ready to be with you on the same level or not. No. In my experience, it depends why they cheated. In firearms safety class, they teach that a gun is always loaded. Of course, it's not literally true, but it's a good habit to have in order to keep yourself and others safe. Same thing here. It's possible that he won't cheat again, but do you really want to be the one who tests that theory? Most people like to blame cheating on alcohol or other external factors. These are the one who will always be cheaters since they constantly try to shift the blame. My current partner cheated on his ex-wife and told me about it within the first week of meeting. The relationship had been horrible for years and he wanted out of it. He regrets cheating with all of his being and wishes that he just left instead. I trust him 100%. I have also had partners that have cheated and never told me, but I found out. Those partners will likely cheat on their partners in the future. Best of luck, op. Coming from someone that cheated in my first relationship, and shortly thereafter broke up with my partner at the time because of it, I believe people can change and learn from their mistakes. I feel awful about what happened and would absolutely never do that again to a partner. The fact that your partner is being honest with you about something like this early on is a good sign in my opinion. If it's a deal-breaker for you though, then just end it now. However, every single person you are going to meet will have flaws and moments in their life they are not proud of. You just have to find if they are something you can live with or not. In my experience, yes, it is accurate. Obviously context matters. I would never trust someone who had months, years-length affairs for example, but I would be more understanding of a single drunken mistake if they are regretful about it, but even that shows a lack of impulse control. But cheaters usually have certain personality flaws, and in general personality flaws are very hard to fix. I'm sure there are people out there who had affairs in the past but then they changed their ways, but they are very rare. It's true emo. Obviously once someone cheats they are forever a cheater, but it doesn't mean that they will surely cheat again. It just means that they have a character flaw that has been exposed, and that flaw will manifest itself in any of a number of ways. Unless you are already in over your head with someone that confessed that they have cheated in the past, you would be foolish to stay with them. Your chances aren't good with them. Yes. Yep, pretty much. But I also trust implicity and only will react to evidence, so if I cared about this person and they said they were faithful even though they were cheaters in the past, I'd give them the benefit. But I also wouldn't give them much more than that. Yes, run. My ex told me he cheated in the only other serious relationship he ever had. I thought it would never happen to me. 2 months after getting engaged he confessed to having a 2-week-long affair. Looking back, there were a lot of other sketchy things he did. The only advice I have is to guard your heart, but I believe once a cheater always a cheater. I would say it's not fully true, but it also puts a damper on things because you start to question everything, like are they where they're meant to be, or are they with who that say they're with who, are they texting? Everything you might have in a healthy relationship probably becomes something you question. Not true. I cheated on a girl I used to date 10 plus years ago. With a guy. Because I'm gay, but couldn't accept it at the time. Been faithful to the rest. Oh yeah, easy. It's not always true, but it's more likely they'll cheat again than not. It's a risk I personally wouldn't take. I'd never date a past cheater if I could easily date someone who's never cheated. I wouldn't say it's true. People can change, and I know because I did. I had a boyfriend 2 years ago who was very kind and shy. I didn't love him and we didn't date for more than 2 months, but I still liked him a lot. During our relationship though, I met another guy who liked me and I liked him as well, so we started dating and flirting in person and over text. The next day I broke up with my boyfriend so I could be with the other guy. That new relationship didn't even last a week. I have changed a lot since then. A year after that whole thing I met someone new and we've been in a relationship for a year and a half now. Anytime a guy shows any interest in me I shut it down immediately. I do really regret cheating, not because I miss him but because cheating is wrong. Yes. It's true in my experience. My dad has cheated constantly for his whole life. I think once someone has cheated on you, there is a high likelihood of them cheating on you again. If someone cheated once in a past relationship and deeply regrets it, that's not necessarily an indication that they will cheat in a new relationship. But once someone has disrespected you and your relationship enough to cheat on you, and you forgive them, they have no respect for you and no incentive to not cheat on you again because they know you're an easily manipulated pushover. Speaking as an easily manipulated pushover. Forgave someone for cheating and then got cheated on for an extra 7 years. Never gonna make that mistake again. Almost always. IDK man. It just for me. The act of cheating is like. It's an extremely conscious decision sometimes. When people say it was an accident or a mistake, I don't buy it 100%. It's not an extremely fast incident YGM? That's just what I think. Yes, it's true. In my experience, my dad. He cheated on my mom continually over their used to be 15-year marriage 4 times. Now that they're divorced, he's cheating on his new girlfriend now too. It depends. If someone accepts that they made a shitty decision and owns their choice, I see that as something which could be avoided again. But, if they're the kind of person to not own it, refer to it as a mistake, and continually try to justify why they made that mistake, I wouldn't be able to trust that they learned anything. Yes. End of. In my experience, yes. My ex cheated on me 3 times, and admitted to cheating on an ex before. The ex he cheated on was one of the girls he cheated on me with. I've never cheated, but my mum cheated on my dad and she doesn't seem to cheat on her new husband. She also doesn't like him and he's abusive, but so far no. I think it should be more phrased like once you cheated you will have always cheated. Meaning you can't take it back. People can and do change for the better when they see the hurt they caused someone else. For some it's a wake-up call, for others it is business as usual. The problem is that once you've cheated on someone you change that relationship forever. Even if they forgive you and work through it to keep the relationship going, they won't trust you the same as before. The dynamic of the relationship changes. So although a person changed and would never cheat again, they will always be someone who cheated. It takes time and lots of effort. I would change the line to, once a cheater in this relationship the risk of him cheating again is greater. If it's done once they can do it again within the same relationship. People learn and may go into a new relationship learning how their cheating affected their past. 100,000% yes. However, I've seen once a cheater always a cheater is specific to the relationship they've cheated on. I've known men and women who cheat relentlessly until they meet someone who they change for. But once someone has cheated on specifically you, they will almost always do it again. With the betrayed partner gives the cheater a second chance, that statement is almost always true. If it's with someone that cheated with a different partner, not necessarily. They're still more prone to cheat than others though. What was the cheating like? If it was a one-night stand that your partner confessed to right away, perhaps he wouldn't do it again. If it was a months-years-long affair, I don't think I would be able to trust that he wouldn't do the same thing to you. Overall, blanket statements don't cover everyone. It's very possible for someone who cheated to be completely loyal in their next relationships. However, I do think that a level of change that fundamental requires a ton of growth, and it's really only up to you to see whether or not you believe he's made that kind of growth. The way I see it is not once a cheater, always a cheater. However, once they cheat on you, they will always cheat on you. It is very well possible, and I have seen that a person that cheats can be very faithful for the right person.